The Ice Prison, the Siberian escape that defied an empire. Prologue, Shadows of the Empire. The winter of 1940 gripped the Soviet Union with an iron fist, its icy fingers extending far beyond the borders of Russia into the conquered lands of Eastern Europe. Joseph Stalin's regime, fueled by paranoia and ambition, had unleashed the Great Terror, a wave of arrests, executions, and deportations that claimed millions. The invasion of Poland in September 1939, in collusion with Nazi Germany under the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, marked a new chapter in this horror. Polish officers, teachers, priests, and civilians were herded like cattle onto trains bound for the east. Their destination? The Gulag, a vast system of forced labor camps scattered across Siberia's frozen expanse, where the land itself was a jailer more merciless than any guard. Camp 417 stood as a sentinel of suffering in the Yakut Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic, near the remote city of Yakutsk on the banks of the Lena River. Dubbed the Ice Prison by those unfortunate enough to know its embrace, the camp was a fortress of despair. Encircled by towering barbed wire fences topped with razor coils and electrified lines, it was watched over by NKVD, People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs, guards from elevated towers equipped with searchlights and machine guns. The barracks, constructed from rough-hewn logs harvested by previous inmates, housed up to 500 men and women each, their interiors a miasma of damp wood, body odor, and the acrid smoke from makeshift stoves. Winters here were legendary for their brutality. Temperatures routinely dove to 50 degrees Celsius, sometimes lower, turning breath into ice crystals and exposed flesh into necrotic tissue within minutes. The wind, howling from the Arctic, carried the distant cries of wolves and the occasional crack of gunfire from executions. Prisoners labored in open-pit mines and logging operations, extracting coal, gold, and timber essential for Stalin's 5-year plans and the burgeoning war effort. The work was backbreaking, swinging heavy pickaxes into permafrost-hardened earth, pushing overloaded carts through snowdrifts, felling trees with dull axes. Quotas were enforced with whips and reduced rations. Failure meant solitary confinement in unheated cells or worse. Disease ran rampant. Scurvy from vitamin-deficient diets, typhus from lice-infested clothing, tuberculosis from the constant damp and overcrowding. Into this frozen inferno stepped Ivan Petrovich Kozlov, a man whose life had been upended by the tides of history. Born in 1905 in the bustling streets of Warsaw, Ivan grew up in a family of craftsmen. His father, a blacksmith, instilled in him a love for building things that lasted. As a boy, Ivan spent hours by the Vistula River watching engineers construct bridges and dreaming of creating structures that united people. He excelled in school, earning a scholarship to the Warsaw University of Technology, where he specialized in civil engineering. To further his education, he traveled to Paris in 1928, studying at the prestigious École des Ponts et Chaussées. It was there, amid the romantic boulevards and intellectual cafes, that he met Anna Nowak, a literature student from Krakow. Their courtship was a whirlwind of poetry readings in Montmartre and walks along the Seine. They married in 1932, returning to Warsaw where Ivan designed innovative factories and bridges, contributing to Poland's interwar modernization. In 1935, their daughter Sophia was born, a bright-eyed girl who inherited her mother's passion for stories and her father's curiosity about the world. The German invasion on September 1st, 1939, shattered this idyll. As bombs rained on Warsaw, Ivan joined the Polish Army Reserves, fighting in the defense of the capital. But on September 17th, the Soviets struck from the east, catching the Poles in a vice. Ivan's unit was overrun near Lwów, now Lviv, and he was captured. Marched to a temporary holding camp, he endured weeks of interrogation in dank cells. "You are a spy for the imperialists," his NKVD inquisitors accused, beating him with rubber truncheons when he denied it. A mock trial followed, sentencing him to 25 years of hard labor for counter-revolutionary activities and espionage. Chained in a cattle car with hundreds of others, Ivan embarked on the grueling trans-Siberian journey. The train crawled through endless forests and steppes, stopping only to unload the dead. Food was sporadic, moldy bread and brackish water, and dysentery claimed many. Arriving at Camp 417 in late 1940, Ivan was processed like livestock, shaved, deloused with caustic powder, issued a threadbare uniform and wooden clogs. His personal effects, a gold wedding band, a faded photograph of Anna and Sophia, were seized. "Forget your old life," a guard snarled, shoving him toward Barrack 12. Collapsing onto a narrow bunk shared with strangers, Ivan stared at the frost-patterned ceiling. The aurora borealis flickered outside, a mocking display of beauty in a world of ugliness. In that moment, amid the snores and coughs of his fellow inmates, Ivan made a silent oath. He would survive, escape, and reunite with his family. The spark of defiance kindled in his soul, a flame that no blizzard could extinguish, forging alliances in the cold. The daily grind of the ice prison was designed to crush the human spirit, reducing men and women to automatons. The routine was unvarying. A piercing siren at 4 a.m. jolted prisoners awake. They stumbled into the yard for rappel, standing in rigid lines as guards counted them, often for hours in sub-zero temperatures. Breakfast followed, a thin gruel of barley or oats, sometimes laced with fish bones, and a 200-gram ration of black bread that had to last the day. Then the work details formed. Ivan was assigned to the coal mine, a vast excavation pit a 2-kilometer march from the camp. Equipped with pickaxes and shovels, prisoners descended rickety ladders into the depths, where the air was thick with dust and the constant drip of melting ice. They hacked at coal seams frozen solid, loading chunks into carts pulled by emaciated horses or pushed by hand. The quota was 400 kilograms per man. Falling short meant no evening meal or beatings from capos, prisoner overseers who curried favor with guards. Accidents were commonplace. Tunnels collapsed without warning, burying workers alive in rubble. Explosives handled by untrained hands detonated prematurely, maiming or killing. Frostbite claimed fingers and toes. Ivan saw men amputate their own limbs with dull knives to stop gangrene. Evenings brought little relief. Back to the barracks for a supper of cabbage soup and more bread, then collapse into bunks. Lights out at 10 p.m., but sleep was fitful, interrupted by searches, screams from the punishment block or the gnawing of hunger. Ivan learned the camp's social strata quickly. Political prisoners like himself, the Zeks, formed cliques based on nationality, sharing smuggled news and moral support. The Urki, career criminals, operated like a mafia, controlling black markets for extra food, tobacco, or vodka. Guards, mostly conscripts from distant regions, were corruptible but vicious, enforcing rules with dogs and rifles. It was amid this hierarchy that Ivan encountered Sergei Volkov. Sergei was a colossus, standing over 6 feet with a barrel chest and arms like tree trunks. Born in 1900 in the underbelly of St. Petersburg, he had survived the 1917 revolution by scavenging in the streets. Orphaned at 10, he joined criminal gangs, honing skills in theft, forgery, and violence. His body was a canvas of tattoos, a domed cathedral on his back signifying multiple prison terms, a coiled serpent on his arm for cunning, a dagger piercing a skull for enemies slain. In 1934, during a gang war in Leningrad, Sergei murdered a rival with an ice pick in a crowded tavern, witnesses too terrified to testify. Sentenced to life in the Gulags, he had bounced between camps, always emerging as a leader among the Orki. Their first interaction was tense. In Barrack 12, Sergei dominated the stove area, doling out warmth for favors. Ivan, shivering after a long shift, approached. "Room for one more?" he asked. Sergei eyed him, scarred face twisting. "Poles, always thinking they're entitled. Pay up, your bread ration." Ivan met his gaze. Or we play for it, chess, winner takes the spot. Intrigued, Sergei agreed. Using pieces carved from potato peels, they played. Ivan's strategic mind prevailed, checkmating Sergei in 20 moves. The big man laughed, slapping Ivan's back. "You're no pushover, engineer, sit." From there, a wary alliance bloomed. Evenings by the stove, they talked. Sergei regaled with stories of czarist heists, stealing jewels from nobles during the chaos of 1917. Ivan shared blueprints of bridges he'd designed, explaining how arches distributed weight. "Life's like a bridge," Ivan said. "Build it strong, it spans any gap," Sergei grunted. "In here, it's more like a noose. But maybe your brains and my brawn could loosen it." Next to join was Thomas Karpinski, a frail Lithuanian priest of 50 years. With wire-rimmed glasses perpetually fogged and a beard streaked gray, Thomas looked more scholar than cleric. Arrested in Vilnius in 1939 for sermonizing against godless communism, he had been tortured in Kaunas prison, waterboarded, his fingernails pulled with pliers. Yet his faith remained unyielding. He smuggled a single page from the Bible hidden in his boot, reciting verses to those who listened. Ivan met Thomas during a mine shift. A rockslide injured Thomas's arm. Ivan helped dig him out. "Thank you, brother," Thomas gasped. "Save your thanks for God," Ivan replied. Thomas smiled. "He works through hands like yours. Join me in prayer tonight. We meet in the latrine, away from eyes." The group expanded with Mikhail Ivanov, a 28-year-old artist from Kiev, tall and lanky, with unruly black hair and a missing left eye, gouged out during interrogation for counter-revolutionary art. Mikhail had painted vibrant scenes of Ukrainian countryside, Cossacks on horseback, golden wheat fields under blue skies. Deemed bourgeois nationalism, his works were burned and he was sentenced to 15 years. In camp, he sketched on whatever he could find, bark, cloth, even snow, trading portraits for cigarettes or soup. Mikhail approached Ivan after seeing him sketch a map. "You have an artist's eye," he said. "Let me draw you for a story of the outside." Finally, Lena Petrova, a 32-year-old surgeon from Moscow. With piercing green eyes and hair shorn close to prevent lice, Lena was a rarity. A female in a predominantly male camp, assigned to the infirmary after treating a guard's frostbite. Educated at the first Moscow Medical Institute, she had specialized in trauma surgery, saving lives in city hospitals. But in 1938, a high-ranking party official died under her knife from a ruptured appendix complicated by infection. Accused of sabotage, she was tried and sent east. "I heal," she told Ivan during a checkup for his blistered hands. "Even in this place, that's my rebellion." The quintet formed organically, gathering in dim corners. Shared meals, pooling rations became forums for stories. Ivan spoke of Paris's lights, the Eiffel Tower aglow. Sergei of bootlegging in Prohibition-era speakeasies, smuggled tales. Thomas of Lithuanian folk legends and cathedral spires. Mikhail of painting sunsets over the Dnieper River. Lena of midnight operations, the thrill of snatching life from death's jaws. These narratives wove a tapestry of hope, binding them against the cold. The spark of rebellion. 1940 gave way to 1941. The war's shadow lengthened. New arrivals brought news. German troops amassing on borders, Stalin's pact with Hitler fraying. On June 22, 1941, Operation Barbarossa unleashed hell. Nazi armies surged into Soviet territory, catching the Red Army off guard. In the camps, chaos ensued. Guards were pulled for frontline duty, replacements inexperienced. Supplies dwindled. Rations cut to 150 grams of bread daily. A flu epidemic exacerbated by malnutrition swept through, claiming hundreds. Bodies were dumped in mass graves hastily covered with lime. Ivan's turning point came during one such outbreak. A young Polish Czech named Piotr, only 19 and arrested for distributing underground newspapers, fell ill. Ivan nursed him in the barracks, sharing his own meager soup. Piotr's fever raged. He deliriously spoke of his mother in Warsaw. One night, as Ivan held his hand, Pyotr breathed his last, eyes staring vacant. "Enough," Ivan muttered, tears freezing on his cheeks. "We can't wait for the war to free us." That evening, the group convened in a hidden corner behind the woodpile. "We escape," Ivan announced, voice steady. "Or die here like rats." Sergei crossed his arms. "Bold words, how?" "The fence is wired, guards have dogs, and beyond. Taiga for thousands of kilometers." Ivan unfolded a scrap of paper, Mikhail's drawing of a map, based on Ivan's recollections from geography books and prisoner tales. "We wait for a blizzard, visibility 0, tracks covered. Cut the fence here near the blind spot. Head south 300 kilometers to Lake Baikal, cross the ice. Then Mongolia, open steppes, nomads. Cross the Gobi Desert to China. Navigate occupied territories over the Himalayas to Tibet, then India. British territory, allies against the Axis. 4,000 miles, but possible." Thomas clasped his hands. "With faith, all is possible. Like Moses parting the Red Sea." Lena nodded, calculating. "Physiologically, we need 2,500 calories daily to survive. Forage berries, hunt game. I'll handle medical, frostbite, infections. But tuberculosis is spreading. I have symptoms myself, cough, fatigue." Mikhail traced the route. "I'll map as we go. But night blindness, my eye, I'll slow you." Sergei smirked. "Then we carry you, artist. I've escaped prisons before, czarist ones. Bribe a guard for tools. Planning unfolded over weeks, clandestine and meticulous. Sergei used his Orky connections to procure wire cutters, a compass traded for smuggled vodka, and a knife fashioned from a file. Lena pilfered from the infirmary. Iodine, bandages, morphine for pain, herbs for coughs. Mikhail sewed hidden pockets into coats for supplies. Thomas gathered spiritual sustenance, leading prayers for strength. Ivan coordinated drilling survival skills, building snow shelters, navigating by Polaris, recognizing edible plants, supplies amassed, dried fish and meat stolen from kitchens, nuts foraged from the taiga edge, fur scraps for insulation, ropes from unraveled blankets. Each pack weighed 15-20 pounds, balanced for mobility. Doubts arose in whispers. "What if patrols catch us?" Mikhail asked one night. "Then we fight," Sergei replied, sharpening his knife. Lena added, "Or negotiate. Borders are fluid in war." Ivan's eyes burned. Freedom or death. No turning back. Into the storm, the opportunity struck on February 15, 1941. A blizzard of biblical proportions. Wind screamed at 60-70 miles per hour. Snow falling in dense curtains, temperatures plunging to 45 degrees. The camp ground to a halt. Guards retreated to heated quarters. Patrols canceled. Visibility was mere feet. The world a swirling white void. At midnight, the group assembled. Hearts pounding, they slipped from the barracks, coats bulky with supplies. Sergei led to the fence's weak point. Cutters snipping wires with muffled snaps. Sparks flew briefly, but the storm masked them. One by one, they crawled through the gap, Ivan, Sergei, Thomas, Mikhail, Lena, emerging into freedom's frigid embrace. "Move." Ivan hissed, linking them with rope to prevent separation. They plunged into the blizzard, wind battering like fists. Snow-stung eyes filled mouths. Navigation was blind. Ivan clutched the compass, pointing south. Steps sank deep, each a battle. Hours passed in agony. Fingers numbed despite gloves, toes ached. By dawn, exhaustion forced a halt. They dug a snow cave with shovels, piling in like animals. Huddled for warmth, Lena distributed rations, a sliver of bread, a sip of melted snow. "Pulse check," she said, feeling wrists. "All alive. Wrap extremities. Frostbite starts subtle." Sleep came fitfully, dreams haunted by camp sirens. Back at Camp 417, the storm delayed discovery. But at morning appel, absences noted. Commandant Yuri Kuznetsov, a battle-hardened Cheka veteran with a pockmarked face and iron will, exploded in rage. 5 escaped? In this weather, fools, but traitors nonetheless. He mobilized search parties, ski troops with dogs, sleds loaded with provisions. Bring them back alive for interrogation, dead for example. The fugitives awoke to easing winds. Breaking camp, they marched, legs leaden. Food rationed strictly, 500 calories daily to stretch supplies. They trapped a rabbit with a snare Sergei set, roasting it over a hidden fire. Meat revived spirits. Day 3 brought peril. Wolf tracks circled their path. Night fell and the pack attacked, 6 gray shadows lunging from darkness. Sergei roared, swinging his pickaxe, cracking a skull. Ivan stabbed with a sharpened stick, blood hot on cold hands. Lena bandaged wounds. Thomas prayed over fallen beasts. They harvested meat, but the clash left scars, physical and mental. The taiga's endless maze. The taiga stretched infinitely, a labyrinth of conifers blanketed in snow. Towering pines and spruces blocked the sun, their branches heavy with ice. Underfoot, roots and fallen logs tripped weary feet. Frozen rivers snaked through, their ice deceptive, thick in places, thin in others. The group settled into a grueling rhythm. Wake at first light, march 10-15 miles, forage, camp. Ivan led navigation, consulting compass and stars. Polaris points north. We go opposite. Descriptions immersed them. The crunch of snow under boots, the sharp scent of resin, the distant hoot of owls. Internal monologues revealed depths. Ivan obsessed over Anna's fate, imagining her reading to Sophia. Sergei wrestled regrets of a violent life, vowing redemption. Thomas found solace in psalms, seeing divine signs in animal tracks. Mikhail visualized painting the landscape, his one eye straining. Lena battled worsening cough, blood-specked sputum signaling advanced TB. Yet she pushed on, dosing with willow bark tea. Subplots emerged. Tensions flared when food dwindled. Sergei accused Mikhail of eating extra. A fistfight ensued, broken by Ivan. We're family now. Fight the Empire, not each other. Encounters added drama. On day 7, they stumbled upon an abandoned trapper's hut, raiding it for furs, a rusted pot, and salted venison. A gift, Thomas said. Crossing a river proved harrowing. The ice groaned underweight. Cracks spiderwebbed. Mikhail, blinded by glare, slipped, plunging into frigid water. Sergei hauled him out, Lena treating hypothermia with body heat and dry clothes. Day 10, a near capture. NKVD skis whistled nearby, dogs bang. The group dove into a thicket, burying themselves in snow. Breath held, they listened as soldiers cursed the trail's loss. Gone south, one said. The patrol passed. Relief washed over. After 3 weeks, Lake Baikal appeared. A colossal frozen mirror, 636 kilometers long, the world's deepest lake. Windswept and treacherous, its ice undulated like waves frozen in time. Crossing took 5 days, careful steps, ropes linking them. Blizzards returned midway, forcing another cave. Mikhail's night blindness worsened. They guided him like a child. Reaching the southern shore, they entered Mongolia. Borders were unmarked, but patrols scarce amid war. The landscape shifted to rolling steppes, herds of wild horses grazing. They avoided Mongol villages, fearing betrayal, but foraged grasses and roots. The desert's cruel embrace, Mongolia's vastness, yielded to the Gobi Desert, a barren sea of dunes and rock, where cold gave way to scorching days up to 40 C and freezing nights, 20 C. Sand infiltrated everything, chafing skin, clogging throats. Water became the paramount enemy. Oases were mirages more often than real. They rationed sips from skins, digging for underground moisture with sticks. Ate sparse vegetation, Saxall shrubs, camel thorn. Mikhail, weakened by prior immersion, began hallucinating.
See the city?
He mumbled, pointing at empty horizon. During a sandstorm, winds howling like banshees, he wandered off. Searches lasted days, calling his name into voids, gone. Grief struck deep. They held a makeshift funeral, burying his sketchbook under stones. He captured beauty in hell, Thomas eulogized, voice cracking. Nomads appeared on day 40, a family on camels, curious but wary. Trading Thomas's silver crucifix for water, milk, and directions, they warned. Bandits roam. Storms kill quicker than thirst. Internal conflicts peaked. Sergei, dehydrated, challenged Ivan's leadership. "Your maps led us to death." A scuffle. Lena intervened, stitching cuts. Unity restored through shared memories. Heatstroke felled Lena briefly. She recovered with shade and fluids. Her TB progressed, but determination fueled her. Mountains of madness crossing into China. The terrain greened, but dangers multiplied. Japanese occupation meant checkpoints, patrols. They posed as displaced peasants, rags dirtied, speaking minimal Russian or gestures. Lena's smattering of Chinese from medical texts helped barter for rice in a village. The Himalayas loomed, jagged sentinels piercing clouds, peaks over 8,000 meters. Snow returned deeper than Siberia's. Air thinned, breaths labored. Avalanches thundered, rocks tumbling. Thomas faltered on a narrow pass. Foot slipping on ice, he fell, leg snapping with a crack. Agony twisted his face. "Leave me," he begged as they splinted with branches. "Never," Ivan said. They carried him on a litter, alternating shoulders. Thomas shared confessions. Doubts in faith during torture, regrets of unspoken love to a parishioner. "Forgive me, Lord." In a high valley, weakness overtook him. Delirious, he recited the Lord's Prayer one last time. Died at dawn, peaceful, buried under a cairn, cross-etched on stone. Descending into Tibet, they encountered a monastery. Red-robed monks chanting in ancient halls. Welcomed with yak butter tea, barley tsampa, and shelter. "Your path is karma's wheel," an abbot said, offering maps and blessings. Revived, spirits lifted by spiritual respite. The final push, the descent quickened, through rhododendron forests, across roaring rivers on vine bridges. Exhaustion clawed. Visions haunted family home. Sergei spoke of starting anew. Lena of opening a clinic. Ivan of finding Sophia. Emerging into India's foothills, heat enveloped. Jungles teemed with life. Monkeys chattering, tigers rumored. British colonial outposts dotted the landscape. In April 1942, after 14 months and 4,000 miles, they staggered into Calcutta. Ragged, emaciated, they approached a British army post. "Escaped from Siberia," Ivan croaked in English. Soldiers, stunned, provided food, medical care. As allies, they were heroes, stories of Gulag horrors, valuable intelligence. Epilogue. Echoes of defiance post-war lives diverged. Ivan joined the Polish armed forces in the West, fighting in Italy. Searched for Anna. Learned she perished in a Kazakh labor camp, Sophia adopted by a Russian family. Heartbroken, he settled in London, remarrying and fathering children, but always honoring the escape. Sergei vanished into India's underworld, perhaps starting a new life as a trader. Lena, treated for TB in British hospitals, emigrated to Canada, becoming a renowned surgeon aiding refugees. In 1991, with the Soviet Union's collapse, Ivan, now 86, visited Yakutsk, Camp 417's ruins overgrown. He stood silent, remembering comrades. The story passed down inspired books, films, a testament to the indomitable human spirit defying empires.